deserve support from government, we have made the same loans available to students going to public be available also to students in private universities. I'm very happy that you have ideas on how we can make the scholarship work. I am willing to listen to those ideas. I know you have invited me to some form of harambe or something. I think we have since said we should abolish harambes or something. We are on the way there. So, or maybe you are suggesting that some private sponsorship of students in the university. That one, you can take it up with me offline. It cannot be a conversation here. We can have a conversation in another place. Omar, sorry. Omar, it looks like he has left. Oh, you're there. Okay, you put on you put on a different outfit. Intra-school transfers. Omar says there are students who maybe because they are not sure of how things are, they apply for one course, and then when they get to the university, they want to change their courses, and in the process, they get lost somewhere, and their issues are not sorted out. Higher Education Loans Board, again, can you help me with that situation? Why does it take so long when students change courses and they are approved by the universities?
Your Excellency, what would happen is that the list of the students who have transferred will be forwarded to COOPS for validation. And after COOPS validates that they have transferred to a program they qualify for, then they would upload in our portal and our system would pick it. So maybe that lag can take a month or so, and that could be affecting the students. But we are going to improve this year. We are going to talk with COOPS so that we can improve that process.
When you say we're going to improve that process, Omar would want to know, it now takes a month. He says it takes 3 months. What are you estimating that it's going to take? Are you able to give us a shorter time frame, or we give you time to think about it?
I think it's even engineering has been done where COOPS, I'm sorry, I'm talking on behalf of COOPS, have availed the transfer module to the universities. I don't know whether the Vice Chancellors can confirm that. So now you don't have to send documents to COOPS. The Vice Chancellors would log in and effect the transfer there, and they validate in real time.
As a way of managing that losing of time?
Yes, sir.
Can a Vice Chancellor confirm whether that is the case? One who has experienced such a case? Where is the Vice Chancellor? Yes, there is a mic behind you.
Your Excellency, my name is Professor Biambo, Vice Chancellor, Meru University. I would like to confirm that that is true. We can now transfer online and it's done real time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Why should the whole fee reflect instead of the household? Just hold on, Omar. I'm still answering your questions, just to Liza Boli kidogo. Omar is asking why should the whole fee reflect? All he wants is the fee to reflect on what the household is supposed to contribute. I think initially the letters that went out had the full fee, the cost of the course, and that is what brought a lot of confusion. The ministry then instructed, and I think the PS can speak to this. Yes, PS.
Your Excellency, there had been a lot of confusion in terms of what the students contribute in terms of fees as compared to the actual cost of the programs. So we thought it was important to share this information so that students can appreciate that a course like medicine, for example, is 612,000, but the government is shouldering a portion of this cost of the program, and the households only pay a certain amount. But Your Excellency, we've been in conversation, and when we realized that was a problem, we withdrew the letters, and we have released new letters that just indicate the amount for the household to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think initially, Omar, what the point was, you know, sometimes people don't appreciate where we're coming from. I think so there was an attempt to say, okay, this costs so much. The government is going to pay so much. You're going to get loan of so much. And the household is going to pay so much. Unfortunately, many people misunderstood that and said, okay, the cost costs 600,000, that's what I'm supposed to pay. And that's what brought confusion. So I think subsequently the letters were withdrawn, and now it's only showing what the household is supposed to contribute. You have said about Naivasha that there was a problem in Naivasha, that you guys were in Naivasha, and I think there were some agreements that maybe were misrepresented. I was not aware. I was briefed by the team that was in Naivasha. It was a place to explain, for students to appreciate. Do you want to say something as the team leader who was in Naivasha? These good guys are saying you said what they did not agree.
Your Excellency, one of the issues they raised is that they wanted the MTI reviewed, and that's why we put in place the task force in which we have representatives from the Higher Education Loans Board, Universities Fund, Vice Chancellors, as well as lecturers with specialist expertise, and they have been working on that MTI. So one of the issues that should be very clear is that we do not usually use the raw scores. So if, for example, you have 9 dependents, or 5, or 2, or 3, all of these have a weight. And that weight is usually determined by a very random group. So HELP will put a group of students, lecturers, parents, members of the community, church, and they decide how do you think this variable is important in determining the capacity of a family. And so these weights are then looked at scientifically, and in the end, all of these are put into a composite kind of variable that is determined with a mathematical model. And we have all of this. It will be published so that all the stakeholders can look at it and tell us where they think this model can be improved. So that is some of the work that we started undertaking after the Naivasha retreat.
Thank you very much. So there was some input from Naivasha on how to take this forward. The other issue that has been, who decides how much it costs? These are empirical figures. It is not somebody from the blues who says this costs so much. There is a calculation of the input into the cost. The vice chancellors here are with the leadership of the universities. They know how to determine how much which course costs. Can one of the vice chancellors help me with how you arrive at the cost of a course? Professor Odhiambo, again.
Thank you very much. When students come to university, say to do medicine or engineering, look at a course like Introduction to Electronic Engineering, then you'll have to put a teacher that is going to teach that course. And you'll have to compute how much you are going to pay that teacher, maybe within 45 or 50 hours. There will be a technologist, a technician. Again, you'll pay that person. There will be the need of equipment that are going to be used. You'll have to cost them. The students will go for practicum or practica. They'll go for industry experience, and the teachers will have to follow them. You have to cost all this. Of course, there are other things like the electricity and all the rest. Now, the sum total of this will inform you the cost of running that course. And that is how we get, now for that engineering, perhaps there are 15 units in a year or in a semester. So once you get all that, then you have the total cost. Maybe it comes to 280, maybe it comes to 612, maybe it comes to, like it is a financial mathematician who was there, maybe it comes to around 275,000 for financial engineering. That's how you get it, and that's what now become the cost of that program. Thank you, sir.
So there is an empirical determination of these courses and how much it costs, and we just have to be realistic to it, that is what it is. There is no benefit in assuming that this course costs so much just by assumption. It has to be calculated and it has to be determined scientifically. Cluster points for private and public universities, my small sister here, Karen, said that some of the cluster points for public universities are a bit high. So sometimes you end up in a private university, which I don't know whether you applied for or you did not. Maybe you did not apply for. And therefore, you end up in a situation where you are asked to pay more because this is a private university and there is no scholarship. All you can get is a loan. So how do we determine that? Do we have anybody from COOPS who can help me answer this question, or somebody knowledgeable around there? Nobody is there. I will take it as homework. Yes, maybe my peers there can help me.
Professor Mugendi is the chair of that cluster work at the COOPS, so he can speak to the cutoff points.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Yes, I am the chair of placement committee at COOPS. And indeed, because of the way clustering is done, sometimes you might want, a student may want a course in one university, but they are not able to get it because their cutoff points are lower. And that's why that question from the concerned lady was, she said that maybe she got a C+, but then she could not be able to get appropriate courses in public universities because maybe most of those courses then that she wanted, the cluster points were higher than what her cluster point was, and therefore she ended up in a private university. But for private university, again, Your Excellency, the student must have chosen to go to those universities. They are not just placed there. There's normally a box where you tick that maybe if you don't get this course in public universities, you are also willing to go to private universities. So there is always that choice. And I think, again, if the person would really want to come to public universities, there are still courses that are available that just require the minimum university entry, but they may not be courses of the prime courses that they wanted. But anybody wanting to go to public universities and they have a C+, Your Excellency, they will not be denied because the universities are there and there are programs that are linked to take them. Thank you.
Let me also tell Karen that KRA is not the only parameter we use. So this Maasai fellow with 100 cows, and there is no provision for what is your tribe in the whole thing. So there's no place for Maasais there. So the other parameters are there. Which school did you go to? Which primary school did you go to? You also registered under the education system. Are both your parents alive? You know, there are so many other parameters that eventually determine the classification. So even though you may not have some of your details in KRA, there are other parameters that contribute to the banding. So I think that is what informs the whole setup. My friend Tarus has given us a classic example of dentistry. Dentistry is the most expensive course. I don't know why you chose the most expensive course. To make your point, I guess, that this dentistry is a course that we have, universities have said it costs 730 something thousand. So this is a course that is fairly expensive because of all the reasons that we've been told by Professor Odhiambo there, the delivery of the course. And what are we going to do to make sure that we don't lock out children from vulnerable backgrounds from this course? We have to strike a balance between teaching the course at all, because we actually run the risk, Mr. Tarus. If we continue the way we are continuing, we run the risk of not teaching that course at all, or having a half-baked dentist, because we have made him to pass exams and yet we haven't trained him enough. So that's a balance we have to strike. And you remember when we engaged, I told you this is an area of improvement that we may consider. What about the expensive courses? How do we have a ceiling on making sure that those coming from vulnerable backgrounds have a ceiling that does not exceed what they can pay? But let me also say the following, Mr. Tarus. You also know that students in Band 1 get an upkeep of 60,000, up from 52,000. Students in Band 2 get 55,000 as upkeep. We have also raised the upkeep for all the categories, because we also know that some of these students from these vulnerable backgrounds, they sometimes contribute to their own education if they have sufficient resources coming out of the student upkeep. And these are some of the nuances that we have to think about. The trade-off we have to make is, do we continue with a model that has put our universities under very severe strain and almost collapsed our education system, or do we improve it? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Do we continue with a system that has the potential of collapsing all our universities, the vice chancellors, you've heard them say, or do we improve it? I would suggest respectfully that we improve it. And this is the way to improve it. And this conversation is part of what will inform how to improve it. And I want to encourage you as comrades, if I may, to be part of this improvement, to be part of these suggestions on how we are going to improve this system. Whether it is students doing medicine, as Tarus has said, or engineering or nursing, we must make sure that it improves and make sure that our education does not suffer what it has suffered so far. Does the appeals work? You know, if you appeal, do you have a chance of ever getting it right? I know I have seen in the media sometimes cases of people who have asked that they were put in the wrong bands. But there are cases of some of those students who were put in the wrong bands, who have made their appeal, given the correct information, and they have been put in the correct band? Are there such cases, for example, in this hall, if we have any who may want to say their bit who are in this hall? Because I remember there was Josiah from Kisii, and he made a very passionate. Are you Josiah? Okay, you wanted to say something? Just hold your horse. Or do we have any other student who made an application and was given a chance to appeal? Yes, my friend? Are you among those who appealed? Yes? Okay, give him the mic. Let's hear what his story was.
So nili-apply nikawekwa band 3, nikafanya appeal, nikawekwa band 2.
Yeah. What was the issue, for example? Were you told what the issue was?
I wasn't told, so tuliambiwa
to reapply. Yeah. And you reapplied. Who initially? How had you applied? Who had applied for you?
I applied through the cyber, and I filled out the details correctly. And then during the appeal, you have to write a better reason as to why you're appealing. And
then you were reconsidered.
Yeah, I was reconsidered and placed in band 2.
So how long did it take?
Like a week.
A week? Yeah. 1 week. Okay. There are some other people who have applied. There are others who have taken in some of our suggestions, and we have seen them progress. Now, good people, I am told it is 10 p.m., 10:10, and we had time up to 9 what? What was our cutoff time? 9:15. So we are an hour late. So let me conclude by saying the following, that I have listened very carefully to, yes, my friend, you have something to say? Give him the mic.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, for giving me this opportunity to talk. So my question was about my institution there at TUK. So when you were coming to launch the S block at the Technical University of Kenya, you told us that there was the land that is behind the Kenya Poly, that is the Technical University of Kenya. You told us that that land belongs to us, and nowadays I see that land is used as a parking space by some people we don't even understand. So can you clarify how that land went? Because we will occupy that land as from tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vice Chancellor, I think we have the Vice Chancellor of TUK here. Can you confirm what the situation is with that piece? Vice Chancellor.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Vice Chancellor from Technical University of Kenya. Your Excellency, you gave us that land, and we have been following the due process to get the documentation. I told my students not to occupy the land because we need to have the title deed so that we do the right thing. And I want to appreciate that, Your Excellency, my student led by my president who is here, Alex, we've been talking to them. It's true, there's a team that made a fence and they started parking there. And the students said that the president said this is our land. And we have written letters even to your office through the head of public service to that effect. And we are waiting to get the response. So kindly don't occupy. We are going to get the title deed so that we do it right in the right way.
Where is the CS for education? Is Machogu, my friend, just... Is my friend Julius here? Julius, you have an assignment. Please make sure that you talk with your colleague at the Ministry of Lands to make sure that that piece of land is justice is done, and that my good friend doesn't have to go to occupy, and we can give them the title, and not just the title. We can actually, using our housing fund facility, we can help them put up some hostels if that is what the university want. So I'm sorry that we have to call it a day because it is okay. Let me end with this girl. She has really put up a strong case.
All protocols observed, itikati zote zikiwa zimezingatiwa. My name is Honorable Sang Linda Chepkoech from the Strathmore Law School, and Mr. President, I must put down my book to say something. It has always been my dream to meet the president. And today, I've met you, but keep quiet, I want to say something, eh? Mr. President, when you entered this hall, I was watching your steps. And when we came in here, we could see there are seats that are white. You've worn, beginning from your coat, you've worn white, and at the end, it's white. So from far, starting point and to the end, you are wearing all white. Mr. President, it means peace. Please look into this new funding model. Mr. President, look into it 3 times, look into it, and ensure it favors everyone. Most of us here are from vulnerable backgrounds. We are just in some schools because of purposes and because of our mouths. Mr. President, look into it. Please, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my dear. Thank you. So I think let's leave it there. I know the ladies want to say something, but because of time, what maybe we could agree on a way forward. And let me suggest one, that this has been a very healthy conversation. I must say that you have enriched my thinking. You have given ideas that give a suggestion on the way forward. I value every suggestion that has been made here. Many people here have given suggestions on how we can make it better. My good friend Junior here said that let us improve on what has been there, make it better so that our universities can move forward and all the students can look at the model positively. You have said that there are certain reconsiderations that have to be made. We have all the vice chancellors here, majority of them. We have my staff from the Ministry of Education. We have people from Higher Education Loans Board. We will take into account the issues you have raised. Beyond the funding model, you have told me about matters to do with fighting corruption. You have told me about how we create better representation for students in our universities. You have told me about all the other issues. They are very important issues to me, and I will look into those issues. Let me propose a round of applause for all those who gave wonderful suggestions. Tuwapige makofi. And to all the good guys who attended this, and forgive me those who did not have a chance to speak. I will make another occasion available for us to be able to engage on this model again. Asanteni sana. I wish you well. Take my greetings to your comrades and colleagues in your universities, and I wish you well and see you soon. Asante sana.
Why don't we put our hands together for His Excellency? Please, let's give him a round of applause. That's almost quite a number of hours right there. Your Excellency, thank you very much. I'll request that now we be upstanding as we allow His Excellency to exit. But I'll request all students, please maintain your position. Please remain where you are, even after His Excellency has exited. And a round of applause for His Excellency.